Hi, welcome to Green Drake Outfitters. Today we'll be tying the Marabou Muddler. First you'll need a streamer sized hook, and then you'll need a 6/0 or stronger thread. Tie on your thread and work it down to the bend of the hook. Once you get to the bend of the hook, grab your hackle. Make sure all the tips are nice and even with each other. Place them on top of the shank of the hook and tie them in. You want the length to be about half the shank of the hook. Tie them in nice and securely. Then advance your thread of about 3/4 of the shank. Then you will select your diamond braid. You will then tie that in at the 3/4 mark and wrap it all the way back down to where your tail is. Advance your thread back up. Now wrap your diamond braid in nice tight turns all the way to where you left your thread. Now tie off your diamond braid and cut off any excess material. Next you'll want to tie in the wing. Select your Marabou. Put it in place so that the tips of the Marabou is equal with your tail. Tie that in with a few good wraps, then cut off your excess material. Now with your thread, make a nice fine taper so that when you spin your deer hair you're not falling over any ledges. Now collect your deer hair and a hair stacker. Stack all the tips down nice and even and advance the tips towards the tail. When tying in your deer hair, you want to have 2 loose wraps over the deer hair, and then on your third wrap you want to tighten up your wrap while rotating around, and this will cause a proper spin for your deer hair. Now weave your thread through the deer hair particles while pushing it back so that you could tie in your next bundle. Your bundles will want to be about the thickness of a pencil. Wind your thread forward. Grab another batch of deer hair. You could cut off the tips so that it makes it nice and even. And when you do so, 2 loose wraps, and on your third wrap, tighten it up so that you get your flare. Start advancing your thread forward slowly. Use a hair or a half hitch tool to push it back unless you have a hair packer. I like using a half hitch tool to finish this off so it doesn't catch any of the fibers and it just slides in front of the eye nicely. After a few half hitches you will want to cut off your thread. Then with your scissors you want to trim the head. Following the angle of the eye is usually gives you a nice cone shape. As you see underneath there, I just take a nice flat cut underneath the base of the hook. Then slowly just work your scissors around. Now what I'm doing here is I'm actually taking the scissors behind the longer fibers and moving them forward so that I will not cut all the tips, or all the tapered tips. This is a quick cut. You could take a lot more time to cut your head to make it a lot more neat. But all in all, this is your Marabou muddler. Tight lines and wade safe.
Americano.